Hello, 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 and welcome. This is Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, Living Legacies, and my name is Joy Ruffen. I'm delighted and honored to have you here this evening. You know, life always gives you whatever you need, and it always gives you trial and error to come and rise above. Tonight, this lovely leading lady that I'm going to be interviewing, somehow there was a mix up in time, and so she's going to be doing the interview from her car. Now, this is the first, but that doesn't take away the energy, the love, and all of the information that she's going to be sharing with us about. Because Lynn George, our guest tonight, is a professional career confidence coach. And that's what we're going to be talking about. And we're just going to let it flow. And we hope that you will listen and tune in and come with your questions. I'm going to bring Lynn over now, and I want you to say hello and welcome. Hello, Lynn, and welcome. You made it. I love it.
Yay! Hi, Joy. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your patience in my mixing time up. Thank you so much.
Listen, life happens, things happen. And what we're learning, you and me and all of us who are into this wonderful new arena that we're dancing in, we're just learning to go with the show and just flow. Lynn,
Good.
I love what you're about. I love what you're doing. I applaud you every time I see you on the tube, because I know that purpose is so important. So tell us a little bit about how you came to do what you're doing and why you love it so much.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I'm going to try not to get so excited because I love that question. So how I came into my own purpose. Back in 2004, I did an internship with the Alachua County One-Stop Career Center as a jobs developer.
Mm-hmm.
And like many college students, I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grow up. But it would be this. The only thing I did know is that I wanted to help people. Little did I know it was that internship which would be the path to my purpose work and shape my entire career in workforce development. So it was through this internship that I came into my own purpose and what my calling is, and that is to inspire and motivate women to step into their purpose work with confidence.
This is why we connected, Lynn, because we're going about it in different ways, but the end result will be the same. You
Absolutely.
Want to support, aid, and assist women to build and grow into the best of themselves, which means you have a high sense of self-worth and self-esteem. Mm-hmm. Now, when you discovered that this was what you wanted to do, what was the seed? What was the trigger that said, this is what I want to do, and I know that I'm good at this and I can help people?
So, good question. So let me back up a bit. Before that internship, first of all, I was a non-traditional student in college. And for me, what that meant was I was an older college student as a single mother, okay? Uh-huh. And previous to that, I would daydream a lot about what I wanted to do, what I envisioned myself doing. And that was being a conference speaker. I wanted to be this conference speaker. Now, as an introvert, I am an introvert. As an introvert, I daydreamed a lot, as introverts do. But it wasn't until I got in this internship and I was trained as a jobs developer, which meant that I went out to interface with businesses for their job vacancies. And another responsibility was I was responsible for training. And let me tell you, it was in those responsibilities that I found, actually those opportunities, that I knew that what I daydreamed about was now beginning to connect with what I was doing.
I cannot tell you how much that resonated with me, because this keyword, this buzzword it's been out in the stratosphere for quite a while, purpose. In that developmental period of your life, somehow something triggered in you, this is what I need to do. This is what I want to do. When did you discover that you had a natural knack for helping others to find their purpose? Because most everybody knows about purpose. Some people, young, middle, elders, seniors, are still searching for purpose. So what's the trigger that let you know that this was the purpose that was meant for you and you alone?
Oh, Joy, you're asking all the real good questions. So it wasn't until about 6 years ago, honestly. I'm in a new role. So I work a 9 to 5, and I actually share this with in my last video. I work a 9 to 5 that's actually part of my purpose work. And it's dealing in the same thing that I've been doing in the last 15 years, and as well as my business. And 6 years ago, I started working for a nonprofit where I worked with women to help them get on a career path that would help them become self-sufficient. It was that opportunity. It was within that opportunity. Now, I must first add that when I got that job, I thought, okay, I've done this before. I really don't want to do this, but this is part of my strategy of getting into where I want it to be. Because for me, it was always about a strategy, right? It was always about the path, the plan. So when I got in it, I thought the first 2 years was like, just like any old job. My perspective about it was just like about any old job. And what happened was something happened where I began to really seek purpose within that job. And when I did, and how I did it was pray. Okay. I prayed. And when I prayed, what happened was I got up one morning and thought, I need to join Toastmasters. Okay. And at that moment, it was when I again started making connections. See, a lot of times what I found about discovering your purpose and your passion and your calling, it's not an isolated thing. It's about connecting the dots. Yes, it's about connecting the dots. Go ahead. I see you burning.
You're on fire, girl. I love it. Yes, it is, because you know that I volunteer and work with these young girls. And so many times, and not only the young girls, I think a lot of people, they think that purpose is one defined, definitive thing. But you said you discovered after a period of time, connecting the dots and doing all the things that you knew to do, that this was in alignment with what you are here to do. So that wasn't an overnight thing.
It wasn't an overnight thing. And see, it was in this role that I was doing as a work, as a 9 to 5. Uh-oh.
Oops.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was going to say, you keep going down, down, down. That's okay. We're listening. Go ahead.
It was in my role, in this role that I'm speaking about, that I found my knack for helping people. When I started focusing on what my intention. See, a lot of times if we do not approach things or approach life with intention, then we don't find what we really want. So when you want purpose and you're looking for purpose and you're doing it with intention, and for me, it was constantly reflecting back on opportunities that I had been given. And as you go along the way, you will have people tell you, you know what, you're good at this. This is what you're born to do.
Lynn, I just love, and everyone who knows me knows this, but I love listening to young people, and sharing what you are with us is so vital. Allow me to share with you why. Because so many times people think that finding your purpose has to do with something that you come to grow, to love it, to value it, to appreciate it. But a lot of times what you love might not love you back. And you have to connect those dots and discover, what are you going to really excel at? And that's, yes. And that's what you just shared with us in a different verbiage, but it's the same conversation that we're having.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that means that purpose, even though you have to connect the dots, there's so many different things that we can all do. It's finding the things that you said you discovered after a while that you're good at helping people. Now, when did that realization come to you on your path to purpose?
It came to me, I say 4 to 6 years ago. Yeah, and it's in the process of doing. Because see, a lot of times we stop. When we don't know, when we don't feel like we know what our purpose is in the pursuit of purpose, we stop moving. We stop movement. And in actuality, in order to discover purpose, you have to keep moving. And that's what happened. I discovered when I searched for purpose, when I was searching for that skill, that thing that I was born to do, and to shine, when I continued to follow my daydream dream, right, I looked for opportunities to do that. I actually went to my boss and say, hey, look, this is what I want to do. I want to grow in this area. I want to grow and be an effective communicator. How can I incorporate this into my job? See, the mistake we make is that we separate our purpose from sometimes our day-to-day jobs. When in actuality, there's so many opportunities in our jobs that we can take in order to find our purpose, in order to continue the path of discovering that purpose, discovering where you shine.
You are. You go, girl. You are hot tonight. You know what you said that really resonated? It went to this is my expression, it went to the marrow of my bones. You said, in the process of doing, whatever it is that you feel, you think you might want to do, or you like, you have to really get out there and get involved, because in that process of discovery, you're going to get a lot of the yay and the nay, and then you blend them together with what works for you. Absolutely. Now, I know what you're doing. You explained to us. You also said to me that you have 3 strategies for discovering the path to purposeful work. Let's start with the first one and expound on that a wee bit. Share with us those 3 strategies, because I know our listening audience, we have Emma and we have Roz and Carla.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, ladies. Hello. And if there are any gents, we welcome them too. We're not sexist, but we have a lot of women out here who want to hear and know more, even if they found their purpose. What are some of the strategies that we can use to get more involved and more into the groove of what our purpose is all about?
What I know for sure, number one, is you need to become a student of you. You need, and I'm going to say that again. You need to become a student, a master student of you. What that means, that simply means it's self-awareness. And I read somewhere where it's 2 people, I think Knuckle and someone else, back in 1972, they defined and noted self-awareness as this. It is internal standards and values define where you actually compare it to your behavior. So you have internal standards and values, comparing it to your behavior. And what happens is you become an objective evaluator of what aligns with you. So let me put that in context of becoming a student of you. It is more than just understanding what your interests are. It is more than just knowing what your favorite subjects were in high school and in college, but it is understanding what are you doing when you feel you are at your best. What inspires you to learn more and grow more? I recently actually gave this talk, 15-minute talk, actually last week, about the same topic. And I shared a story where I recently reviewed journals that covers a 20-year span. Now, journaling is a very underestimated phenomenon. It's an underestimated activity.
I agree.
looking at these journals, what I found recurring themes. The things that I daydreamed about in my 20s, I saw them, I wrote them down. And I consistently saw throughout that 20-year span and writing in these journals that it was the same thing year in, year out. I wrote about what inspired me to grow. I pursued the things that inspired me to grow. So you have to become a student of you. And it's that internal standards and values and things, knowing what motivates you. That's what I'm talking about. Getting to the core of who that is.
Oh, my dear, my darling. Listen, a student of you, I don't think I've heard it expressed quite that way, and I like it. I'm sure it's not new, but it's really very impactful because we have so many women, and I'm looking to young women and a lot of mature women too, who are they're so exterior. Now, my work as an image consultant, you start, that's the door opener, but that's not the end all be all. You have to go way beyond that. And what you're saying is when you become a student of you, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you work to make it more useful and of service and the best of you showing up. I love that, Lynn.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm ready for number 2 now. What's number 2?
Number 2, ask yourself the question, what's in your hand? What's in your hand refers to your natural abilities. What are you ignoring? What do people consistently compliment you on? What does past supervisors consistently compliment you on? You can take all of this information and reflect and think about even projects that you've been a part of. Where did you light up? Yes, student of yourself, inspire innermost.
Yes.
That is awesome. Where do you light up? And see, we discount what naturally comes to us. And I say that because I think for many years, the reason I was looking for permission to engage.
Yes, we get that.
I was looking for permission to engage because I wasn't confident. First of all, I'm generally confident in many areas. But when it came to the professional arena, I wasn't as confident because I did not know who I truly was. I wasn't sure what I was capable of. And I was always asking for permission to engage. See, when you are sure about who you are, you don't ask for permission to engage. You just engage.
You go.
Yeah.
That's it.
So understanding what your natural strengths are, what comes natural for you.
I like that.
That's what's in your hand. What comes natural for you? What are your natural abilities?
And you know what you added to that, Lynn, which I feel for me, it's a lot of intuitive knowing. A lot of women need to hear this. What are you complimented on the most?
Yes.
And whatever that is, build that into the business that you're about, because we're all business women.
Absolutely.
And it's useful and impactful for other women. That's what we do. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Use what's in your hand.
What's in your hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the third one would be?
The third one, I actually had to take out my notes to
I love it.
Because I'm like, oh goodness, this is a role here.
But the first 2 are powerful in so many ways, because for women, for all of us, while you're looking there, Lynn, I really think that most of us women, many of us, some of us, it's all about being that student of you, which means getting your self-worth, self-esteem, your sense of confidence in who you are. Because when you do that, there is no competition for you. You're being you, the best you. And in doing that, you're aligning yourself with others who are of the same mindset. That is so vital. I love that. So I get it. I'm sure our audience gets it too.
Right. And then the third one is, what are learning opportunities immediately that you can engage?
I like that. I'm in one right now with you.
Yes.
Technology.
See, everything in the journey matters. That's where we mistake. We don't appreciate our humble beginnings. We don't appreciate our beginnings. Because everybody, and when you think about it, every successful person has a beginning. A lot of times we're looking at someone's chapter, 12, when we're at chapter 1, forgetting that they had a chapter 1 too.
I want to address that because my volunteering with these young, brilliant, dynamic, beautiful young girls, what I'm discovering, and you can probably help me with this, Lynn, so many of them, I don't know, I haven't come to a complete understanding of what it is, but many of them think that many of the celebrities and the people that they see, that they just became successful overnight. Mm-hmm. They don't have their backstory. They don't know enough about their backstory. They see the front story and the story now going forward. So they don't know, like, as an example, of Beyonce has been at this for 30 plus years. They
right.
just see her now and think, oh, a year or two, boom, boom. And I'm thinking for myself, and I like the third one, what are the learning opportunities now? Mm-hmm. A continuation of always being available and open to learning, which for me, a happy senior, I'm a perennial student. That's why I'm here doing this mm-hmm. with you and mm-hmm. everybody else, because I love learning. Yet I want to be able to give these kids something that will be more impactful to them. So what are some suggestions that you can share with me that would help them on their journey, knowing that everything is a process and it takes time?
It does take time. I want to give the example of, and I mentioned it earlier, uh-huh. that when I became serious, even more serious, not just when I got started, but even more serious about becoming an effective communicator, I went to my boss and say, this is during talent management time. This is what I want to do long term. What are the opportunities that exist now that can help me towards that? People are willing to help you. And if you're on a job or if it's not a job, it could be a volunteer opportunity. Where if you want to be a speaker, well, who can use you as a speaker non-paid right now? That's an opportunity.
Yes. Yes. Opportunities, they present themselves to you, but you have to make yourself available to them.
Absolutely.
And for many people, I'm thinking from what I can see and observe that that's not easy for people to do. You mentioned Toastmasters. I belong there too. You went to Toastmasters because you wanted to master the art of what? Speaking.
I did. And I actually wanted to overcome my fear. I had been doing some speaking, and sometimes we think when we get in purpose that when we're on that path of our purposeful work, that mm-hmm. everything just overnight becomes perfect. Exactly. And it does not. No. That's when you have to become a student of you. You learn the areas you need to perfect. I needed to, not that my confidence would be perfect, but I need to perfect it in an area that I am truly motivated by and inspired by. And if I didn't address it, I would never learn from it. And if I don't learn from it, I won't grow in it. And if I don't grow in it, I will die a spiritual death. So I had to really address areas that I was very fearful of. Even though I had been speaking, I was still, for some reason, something was holding me back. So I joined Toastmasters, a safe environment where I can get learning, get understanding about my craft, and become better at it.
Without question, there is no question involved here. You and that mindset, that outlook is really a female trailblazer, because not only are you looking to aid and support other women, you're doing the same process for yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's what I always say. You can't do much in helping others until you began to get yourself together. And that's what you started off with, a student of you.
Yep.
And you have to be that if you really want to be impactful in the circle that you're dancing in. Tell us a little bit about the women. You work with men too, I think, right?
I have in my professional arena, yes.
Okay, but predominantly women.
Predominantly, my coaching is really geared towards women.
All righty.
Yes.
Tell us the women who come to you, the type of women, and predominantly why they come to you. Now, that might sound easy, but I want you to address that if you can. I know you can.
You know, I have worked with women in all different arenas. As I mentioned earlier, I've worked with women that were no work experience, not really in a professional light. I've worked with women that are business owners, and I worked with women that are career women. And all of them have come with, different problems that they are wanting to solve. And it boils down to one word.
Yes.
Confidence.
Let me ask you this, because my work with women too, there's a lot of bravado. There's a lot of acting when it comes to natural, innate confidence and self-awareness and self-esteem. Are you able to detect that and pick that up right away? Do some come to you with one face on and then you discover and see another? I mean, they come to you, but maybe they don't know they're coming to you for confidence, I suppose would be the way.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. Yep.
Indeed.
And
yep. As far as age range, would it be more middle, young, middle, or elders, or it's a combination?
It's a combination of all, actually. Mm-hmm. It's a combination of all. My eldest is probably closer to 60. Yeah. So, and again, regardless of how old you are, it doesn't even matter. It's never too late to pursue what your purpose is and find out what that is and perfect it. But what happens is that we all face the same thing, and that is our greatness scares us. Our greatness scares us. When we begin to pursue that purpose, we know what I found is that the women that come to me is that they have so much greatness in them, and they usually know it. And so it's that confidence that needs to be built, that confidence that needs to be perfected in order to step into it, to pursue it even the more, and to become the student that they need to be so that they can grow in their purpose.
Yes. Well, you spoke to one of the women that I follow and read, and I don't idolize anyone, but I adore her. And that's Marianne Williamson. I don't know if she was the first one who said this, but she said, it's not our insecurities or our fears that hold us back. Mm-hmm. It's our what? It's our greatness.
Greatness. It's so true.
And it is true.
It is so true. It scares us. It really scares us. And I think for me, I found that as I've gone through the years, in my pursuit and my journey of, searching for purpose is, I've had so many people compliment me in certain areas, and I didn't understand, well, how do they see this? Because people see things in us that we don't see in ourselves. How do they see this and I don't see it? Or why do they believe this about me and I don't believe this about me? And to that, I say, believe in something until you can catch up with the belief that you were born to shine.
And that ties in, my friend, with your number 2. Mm-hmm. What's in your hand and what are people complimenting you on the most?
Absolutely.
Yep. Those are the attributes, the traits, the talents, the skills that you really need to be about developing, because that's part of your purpose and your gift.
Yes.
My friend, you and I could talk forever and ever and ever.
Yes.
Let's say hello to all of these lovely people.
Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. I really appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. And we are all going to applaud you because Lynn, whatever the time difference is, we thought it was something else. And she came on purpose and with purpose.
I sure did.
Doing this from her car. So I say bravo to you, my friend. Bravo.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how this is beyond exciting for so many reasons, because the audience heard me before in my Facebook add to the story. I go weave it before the show and tell them about what's going to be happening. And I love working with young people. And I loved you from the moment, and this is not brown nosing you. I loved you from the moment I saw you on TV. I said, here is somebody who has a purpose, who's about doing things that's good for other women, and I want to connect with her. And so we did. Now, Lynn, before we say goodbye, I thank you. But what is it you'd like? By the way, all of your links, all of your data, all of your information will go up and you'll get the video. But is there anything you want to share with the audience before we say goodbye? Are there any questions you want to ask anyone? Is there anything you want to leave us with before we say so long for now and you must come back?
Yes, I will. The only thing I will say is this, ladies, for those of you that are watching and sharing your time, do not be afraid of your greatness. A lot of times I tell women that you know the greatness that lies within you. You feel it in your gut. But what happens is two things, is that we need guidance. Sometimes you're looking for guidance on what path to take to get there, and that's okay. And you need probably help in the area of confidence. I've been there, done that, and still walking that path, actually. And so I walk alongside with you. And because I know and I truly believe each and every woman that comes to me for work, I believe that there's greatness in them. And so for each of you, there's greatness in you. And thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much, Joy, for having me. I really, really do. I'm humbled by it.
Oh no, my love. Let me share this with you. I'm so honored that we have connected, because this will be until I leave the planet. This I know in my gut, in my soul. And what a wonderful way to end this show. I'm going to say thank you, because you have given us lots of good tips and tools to work with going forward. All of your data will go up. I'm going to say so long and thank you for now. I'm going to put you to the side, but don't go away. Stay in your car for a second while I say goodbye, and then I'll get over to you in just a second. All right, my love. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
What can I tell you? You know, this young lady, this dynamic female trailblazer in my mindset and how I see her, she's doing such wonderful work. And we all need to be supportive of each other. And each and every one of you here, Emma, Roz, Carla, all of the names that I see that I'm not going to pronounce here and there, you know that you're always welcome here. And you know the purpose of this show is to always bring you women who will share their stories with you. All of the things that Lynn had to share with you about her and her journey, that's been mine. And our journeys are continuous. They never end. We're always learning. A student of life and a student of you has to be part of your DNA. It has to be part of your purpose. And when it is, you go and you move from there. So let me say again, it's always a pleasure to have you here. And your questions and comments are always welcome. They're coming slowly but surely. You'll become, as you get to know more and more about what we're doing and why we're doing it, I'm sure you'll come with your questions. But whatever you're doing, be well, take care of you first. Do the very best that you can, because it's only then that you're able to look after and care for others. You know that my heart is there with you, and I look forward to seeing you again and soon. Have a great weekend. Enjoy, all the best, and we'll see you again soon. So long for now. Cheers.